from not knowing her at all. So, but before we go anymore, do you guys have some energy to finish strong? We got we got an amazing speaker coming now. They got Mr. Tony Robbins coming. And we got to start the energy now. So by the time Tony gets here, you know he's going to be asking for your best. You know it. Our next presenter, I went from barely knowing her about 3 months ago to we were just joking. We're besties now. We might as well just go have coffee once in a while. No, I got introduced to her by a mutual friend. And when you just watch somebody who gets it, who took her passion and truly turned it into a multi-million-dollar business. She's the founder of Gardenary. She's helped over 35,000 women or people grow their very own kitchen garden. Now, I wouldn't have known what a kitchen garden is until my wife, who now follows Nicole, who we're going to bring out here, has informed me what a kitchen garden is. And we're building a new house, and I'm going to have to hit you up because I know exactly where our new kitchen garden is going. But how cool is this? It was something that was her passion, and now it is a thriving business. I see you, Marie. Isn't that the most amazing? Like, this is the thing you want. But Nicole's not just here to share her story. She's here to teach and share. She's absolutely amazing. She's become a dear friend, and I'm so honored to have her here. Can we give her a warm welcome from the Game Has Changed community, Miss Nicole Burke.
Hi.
So good, so good. Nicole, everyone.
Hello, you look amazing. I hope you're feeling amazing. It blows me away to know that the things Dean just said about me are true. It is crazy that I've helped over 500 people start their garden. It's even crazier that over 6,500 people have taken my gardening courses online. It's wild that 35,000 people read my gardening books. But it's really, really crazy that over 2 million people follow me and learn to garden with me on social media. The craziest thing is that my garden business, has made over $12 million because it was not always this way. It was the fall of 2014, and I was ironing. My 5-year-old jeans were falling off. My white t-shirt was stained, and my 4-minute makeup routine from early that morning, it was long gone. Jason was stretched across the bed. He was closing his eyes. We were both tired. I met Jason in grad school playing ultimate frisbee, and he was the perfect combination. He was really smart and also very good looking. In 7 years, we moved fast. We dated, married, and had 4 kids. We had survived his grad school years, his postgraduate years, and we thought we had finally made it. He was working as a chemist, and I was a homeschooler, y'all. From 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. every day, I was the housekeeper. I was the English teacher, the math teacher, the science teacher. I was also the housekeeper. I was the grocery shopper, the cook, the after-dinner cleaner-upper. And I was also the housekeeper. I was the afternoon activity organizer, the minivan driver. And did I mention that I was a really bad housekeeper? We needed help, but money was tight, and so I was mostly the help. We're dipping into savings every month. This is what Jason had told me a few weeks prior. And I was like, there's no way. We're clipping coupons. I'm driving a beat-up minivan, complete with Sharpie marker on both sides, thanks to my toddler. We were rarely eating out and not going on vacation. So it took me a few weeks to process what he said, and that's what brought me to the ironing board. I said, Jason, I'm waving the white flag. And, I probably should have said the words, I quit, but I was too scared. And so I used this terminology from war to basically say, I can't do this anymore. Is anybody feeling that way? And he said, what do you mean? And I said, well, I love you. I'm in love with you. I love being a mom to our 4 kids, but I can't do this. I can't do this schedule, this stress. I can't do this money situation. I think I need to stop homeschooling. And he said, well, then what do you want to do? And I didn't know. I didn't have an answer. I just knew that I wanted tomorrow to look different than yesterday. Yes? And it didn't happen overnight. It took time. It took 10 months for me to get the kids into school. It took a year for me to even come up with a business idea. I was selling seeds I picked from my garden, putting them in envelopes and selling them. I was grabbing $5 bags of soil, putting them into my minivan, driving them around town, and then selling them for $10. I started doing garden consulting where I would teach my garden knowledge. And 2 years later, I created my first online garden course. It took time for me to figure out who to sell to, what to sell, and how to sell it. But slowly but surely, I bought myself a new minivan. No Sharpie markers on this one, at least not to start. I enrolled my kids in soccer lessons and gymnastics lessons that I didn't have to teach. And I even found a little bit of money every now and then to hire some help cleaning up that house. And now, today, 9 years later, I'm married and so in love with Jason. We have 4 incredible teenagers, and I'm the owner of one of the most influential garden companies in the country. Over the years, I have made a million mistakes, but there are 3 things that I've done every single day. And so if you're here with me and you have a white flag to raise, anyone? Then I want to share with you my 3 secrets, my 3 things that are the reason why I'm here and my today looks so different than my yesterday. So, are you with me? Are you in? I know you're tired. I know you've been learning all day. Well, let's do it. It's just 3 things. You can do 3 things, right? So the first thing is you've got to become a believer. Before I had my ironing board moment, Jason built me the cutest vegetable garden right beside my driveway, just the way Dean's going to have to do in a few months. And every morning I would go out with a bowl in one hand, scissors in the other, and I would walk out and I would start cutting leaves still with dew on them from the night before, carrots from the soil, peas off the vine, and I would bring them inside, make Jason a quick lunch he could bring with him to work, and cut up some snacks for me and the kids. And those moments when the sky was above my head, when I could smell the dirt underneath my fingernails and I was holding this food I had grown myself from seed, I thought, this is good. This makes me feel so good. Have any of you had a moment like that? Just something you do in your day that's so simple and yet it makes you feel so good? I see your hands. Well, I started walking, I was exercising in my neighborhood, and I thought, what if every one of my neighbors had a garden like mine? Wouldn't I live in a really good neighborhood? And then I thought, what if I drive around the city with my kids, and I thought, what if my whole city, what if everyone in this city had a garden? And I told Jason, I'm starting to believe in this garden thing, like how good it is. I'm starting to think that I could sell this. All these people are spending all this money trying to feel good and feel better, and I have the thing they need. And I did just that. I started to sell the garden. My first goal was 100 gardens in my city, and then I made it bigger. I wanted everyone in my city to have a garden. And now today I talk about the fact that I won't stop until every person in the world is able to wake up and go outside and pick something that they can eat. I mean, is that cool? So your first step is to take the thing you love, to take something that has made you feel good and to start to believe in it, to practice it and enjoy it and start to become a believer in your own thing. You may not have that thing yet. You might already have just a small idea in your head, but your first job is to start believing that this thing you love isn't just for you. It could be for your whole neighborhood, for your whole city, eventually for the whole world. When you become a believer, business gets easy. Number 1, there are no competitors once you're a believer, because every other person out there that's doing what you're doing, they're making your beliefs, your dreams come true. We're all on the same team if you're a believer. When you're a believer, there's no such thing as, oh, that's already been done before, because obviously it hasn't been done enough. When you're a believer, you can get over yourself and sell this thing, because you know that on the other side of that purchase, when that person signs up with you, they're going to feel what you felt. They're going to feel good. So why would you not sell your thing? You got to be a believer. Are you going to be a believer? Number 2, I love the hands. I see you, David. When you become a believer, you got to commit to show up every day. When I decided I was going all in with this garden business, my cousin Laura calls me. She's gorgeous, 6 years younger than me, already running her own online business. She's younger, but she's way ahead. Anybody feeling that way? And she says, Nicole, you got to get on this thing called Instagram. And I'm like, Insta what? Because I was new to the internet. I didn't even have a smartphone like the day before. I'm like, Laura, Instagram has absolutely nothing to do with my business. And she's like, oh, it has everything to do with your business. Well, what was I? I was a believer, right? And so I said, all right, I'll give it a try. She's younger, she's cooler. Let's see what happens. So I committed every day to show up. Day 1, hey, I'm scared, but I want to show you how to plant and grow some lettuce. It's the easiest thing to grow. You take a seed and you just stick it in the dirt. Hey, day 47, remember that first day when we planted the lettuce together? Today, we're going to cut it together. It's so easy. All you need is some scissors. Day 173, hey, come on in. My daughter's with me, and today we're going to dig up some potatoes together from the garden. Day 1932, hey, everyone, I'm going to teach you how to prune your tomatoes today. It is the coolest thing, and you're going to get way more fruit, I promise. You see, you think that the hardest thing to earn on the internet is $1. But that's actually the easiest thing. All you got to do is show something that people want and they'll pay you money. They're used to buying things online now. You might think the hardest thing to earn online is respect, for people to think that you're great. All you got to do is show off a little bit, flex your guns, and people will respect you. You know the hardest thing to earn online? It's trust. Because trust takes time. Trust takes consistency. And that's the bad news. But you know what the good news is? We can all earn it. Because you don't have to have the best product. You don't have to be the most impressive. You just have to show up. So when you show up, I want you to pick your place, pick your stage. It doesn't have to be Instagram. It can be a podcast. It can be your website. It can be an email. It can be a text. It can be a phone call. I don't care what it is, but I want you to pick the place where every day you're going to show up. And I don't want you to perform when you show up. There's no fanciness we need. I just need you. I need you to show up just as you are and just do your thing. Don't make something up. Just live your life. Do that thing that makes you feel so good. Just do it in front of people. Let them see you practice. Document your work. And when you do, invite them to come along with you. Say, hey, stop scrolling. Let's do this together. When I do this, you do it too. You're going to show up every day, and it's not always going to be easy. There's going to be days when you don't know what to say, when you're struggling. In 2019, I was there. I was putting in the effort, but the results were not there. I was working hard, but the numbers were not adding up. And I was discouraged and I felt personally defeated, but I remembered my promise to myself, to my people, that I would show up for them every day. And so I did. And that's when I got the DM from Rena. And she said, Nicole, your posts are so encouraging. And I said, well, what do you mean? I needed some encouragement. And she said, I'm going through ovarian cancer. And I'm getting treatments every day. And my doctor said, I can't start a garden right now. So I'm living vicariously through you. I'm watching your posts every day. And suddenly, this wasn't just about me and my hopes and dreams. It wasn't just about me and my business. It was about Rena. And you don't know it yet, but you have a Rena. You have someone who's watching you, someone who's waiting for you, someone who's struggling the way you've struggled, someone who has days where they want to quit. And they need to see you show up when you want to quit. They need to see you show up when you're struggling. to know that they can make it. So be a believer, show up every day, and when you do, do it your own way. When Jason and I started our garden, we followed all the rules. Tomatoes 3 feet apart, check. Cucumbers 2 feet apart, yes. And it was terrible. I was watering my garden nonstop. It was constantly drying out, and then all the places where I watered it, weeds popped up. And I was like, I hate this. This is a failure. I'm never going to be a successful gardener. And then we took a trip to Big Bend National Park. It was Jason and me, the 4 kids. We're hiking through the desert. Y'all, it was July, and the plants were thriving. All these plants growing all closely together. No one was watering or weeding, and yet somehow the desert plants looked better than the ones in my garden. So I went home and I said, I'm going to ignore all these rules that typical gardeners keep, and I'm just going to take a note from nature. So I went crazy. I planted plants everywhere. I left no blank spaces, and the results were amazing. Less watering, no room for weeds, and my garden was packed and productive. I started teaching this to clients. I started putting it into online courses. I wrote about it in my book. And now, today, I get texts and DMs and photos from people everywhere that say, I planted my garden your way, and it worked. I'm now known as the crazy plant lady who packs in the plants and breaks all the rules. When you do your thing, I want you to do it your way. Because have you had a terrible moment? Have you had a moment where you're like, this is not working? Yeah? Me too. And then have you had a Big Bend moment? An aha moment where you go, oh, there's a different way to do this. I see you shaking your head. Those 2 things, your terrible moment and your Big Bend moment, they give you your unique way to teach your thing. And it's necessary. Because if the best lessons were out there, if everything that's needed to teach people how to do the thing you're going to teach is out there already, then why are they still scrolling? Why are they still looking for another way? It's because you haven't taught them your way yet. When you speak and teach your own way, you create a new opportunity, and everyone is looking for new. Anybody looking for new? I know I am. When you teach your own way, you make a way for people who would never, ever, ever be interested in your thing. I've had people say, I hate gardening, but you just might be convincing me. When you teach your own way, you also stand out. And that's going to be necessary as you grow your business. So those are the 3 things. Be a believer, show up every day, and do it your own way. Now I can hear you kind of thinking, Nicole, this worked for you. This worked, not sure this is going to work for me. And that's because you're thinking about the game out there. Because in the game out there, you got to be famous. You got to be somebody. But this game that Dean's been teaching about this week, this game, you just have to help somebody. In that game out there, you need an investor. You need a lot of money. But in this game, and I'm telling you from my own experience, you just have to invest in yourself. Out there, you need to look a certain way. And in this game, hear me out, there are people online that are looking for someone that looks just like you. They want to learn from someone that looks the way you look. Out there, you have to be great just to get started. And in this game, you just have to start to become great. I know this because I'm a gardener, and I know the power of a seed. A seed, if you hold it in your hand, it will only and ever be just one seed. But if I take this seed and I plant it and water it and tend it, it won't happen overnight, but days and months and a couple weeks from now, there will be leaves and stems and flowers and fruit, and that one seed will become 100 or 1,000 more seeds. My seed, it came in the mail. It was a few months after I had my ironing board white flag moment with Jason, and I opened up the mailbox and it said, Nicole Burke, $400. I thought I should pay a bill with this or deal with the kids' tuition. Or maybe I could use this to start my business. And I did just that. I drove a few blocks away, went to the bank, and I put my $400 down. I said, I want to open a business checking account. And that $400, maybe I should have been more responsible. Maybe I should have paid a bill with it. But that would have stayed just $400. But because I put it away, because I planted it, it became a $12 million business. But way more than that, it's challenged people to start a garden. In fact, because of that $400, thousands of people, hundreds of thousands of people now have a garden. And possibly millions of people now call themselves gardeners. Because I took that $400 and I invested it, I didn't save it. I put it down on my dream, on my belief. I am now living in a world that is daily becoming the world I want to live in, a world that is full of gardens. And you have a seed right now. Right now, it may be tiny. You can't even quite see this seed yet. But today, you're holding a seed just like I was. And so I'm going to ask you the question that Jason asked me. What do you want to do? Because today you have the choice. You can hold on to it and stay safe. And things will stay just the way that they are. Or you can shake things up and you can dig a hole and plant that seed. Water it with teaching and education. You can tend it with community and all of us together. You can share it, teach it, video it, document it, photograph it, talk about it, write about it, promote it, offer it. And if you make that choice, it won't happen overnight. But days from now, weeks from now, years from now, you will look up and you will see hundreds, if not thousands, if not millions of people who believe in the same thing that you do, who see the goodness and feel the goodness of the thing you're getting to experience in your own life. You will wake up and there will be people who are following you and showing up with you every single day. And they're doing the thing you're doing right alongside you. You have everything that you need in this one little seed. I know that you are amazing. I already believe in you. And if I can do this, I know you can do this. And you do not have to do it alone. Thank you.
So good. Wow. So good. Everybody, Nicole Burke.
Love you guys. Go for it.
So good. Give it up for her. Wow, wow. That is the first time I've ever seen Nicole speak. I've watched her on her Instagram talking about gardening, but wasn't that a 10 out of 10? She's still in the back. Let her know if it's a 10 out of 10. You got Trent and Nicole back to back. Who could not? Feels like a Sunday, like I said earlier. So who in here wants to garden? And how cool is it to feel that passionate about something you do for a living? You know, something I talk about a lot is most of us try to find this work-life balance. How is that working out for you? That's life and work integration. That's when you don't know when work ends and life begins, or what life ends and work begins, because both of them light up your soul and light up your heart. And that's the wish we'd have for every single one of you. If you could